This is Wake Up and Lead, a daily podcast where ambitious young professionals learn to lead themselves. I'm your host, Hampton Dorch, here with a recap of my episode with Michael Smoke. And I used to say recap, and I'm actually going to make a quick adjustment. These are my findings from my episode with Michael Smoke to stick with the F theme, because Sunday is faith, Monday is family, then fellowship, fitness, future, and then Friday guest, and then findings from my guest. So here are my findings from Michael, and I'm sure that you had plenty as well, but I'll give some of these just as an opportunity for you to reflect on some of the things that we may have learned from him. So number one is start with your morning. Like, what I love is that he's a coach for people that want to get their nutrition and fitness dialed in. And even though he knows like all the things to do, he says, hang on, there's a lot of stuff we're going to do, but we're going to start by getting your morning right. Because if you can win the morning, you can win the day. And some of the things that he tells you to do in the morning, it's not like get up and immediately run 5 miles or get up and go to the gym. Wow, he encourages you to maybe do some of those things eventually. It's really these 4 to 5 key decisions about when you wake up in the morning. Part of that is getting really good sleep the night before. But also he talks about he has a little bit of electrolytes in the morning. He takes a cold shower. He gets some sunlight. He gets some movement. And those are all things that don't take a ton of effort or a ton of time. And he talks about how, like, if you can start off the morning by doing some of those things, then it'll give you momentum to carry into the rest of your day. If you start the morning off and you're eating a donut or like a bagel and no protein, you're not drinking water, you're not getting sunlight, you're not going to feel that good. And so then you might be less likely to go to the gym. Or if you started off not eating super healthy, you're less likely to eat healthy for the rest of the day. And so I just really appreciate the way that he really breaks things down and makes them simple so that you can get a little momentum at the beginning of the day and then start doing like all the things that we know really help make us fit, and I think that a lot of us just skip to like, okay, what do I do? What do I eat? How do I work out? And it's like, if you're not like preparing to feel good throughout the day, then I think you're kind of missing the point. And I think that's one of the things that Michael does differently than other people in the fitness space. I just loved his prompt to start small. And he's right. You really are only 4 to 5 key decisions away from honestly changing your life. And those key decisions are not that big. And so I think really thinking about your morning could go a long way. That would be one of my first challenges for you. And that's something that I've really embraced. I talk a lot on this podcast, and I will moving forward, about how I think everyone should be a morning person, because I think that most people will be way more productive and have a way better day if they prioritize 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. than if they do from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Because I think most people from 9 to 11 are watching Netflix. And if you get up at 5 to 7, you're probably not watching Netflix. So maybe you get up at 5 to 7 and go to bed at like 9 or 10, as opposed to getting up at 7 and then going to bed at 12. I think the way you're spending your morning is probably going to be more productive. Now, I'm not going to make a blanket statement, because I do know people that are night owls and like get a lot done at night. So if that's you, keep doing your thing. But if you're looking for more with your life, if you're wanting to feel a little bit better, prioritize fitness and nutrition and everything, I think starting your morning off well is always going to be a win for you. Another thing he talks about, a lot of people in the fitness space are kind of like gatekeeping some of this stuff. They make it act like it's way harder than it is to like live this lifestyle, and that you have to work out every single day for 3 hours. Michael says, hey, start off by eating for your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or at least lunch and dinner, protein the size of your fist and some greens. You are going to be a lot more satiated, a lot more full if you just eat that protein, and protein will help you gain and maintain muscle. And so he's like, don't worry about counting the exact grams or the exact calories right now. Just start off on the right foot by eating a fist size of protein. And then, by the way, go to the gym 3 times a week. You don't have to go every single day. Michael still goes 3, maybe 4 times a week, and this guy is jacked. And so, again, he's giving you very simple steps. And this really falls under the principle of being of starting with consistency versus intensity. I think a lot of times we, especially around the beginning of the year, we get super intense, and we don't focus on consistency with what we're doing, and then we just fall off track. He's saying, hey, just master the art of showing up in the morning and doing your routine, and then start slow when it comes to your nutrition and going to the gym. He also talks about how it's an advantage for you at work and in life. You feel a lot better. And I know it's kind of unfair, but the world we live in, like if you look a certain way, that's not going to hurt you either. And so this is something that if you can master now as like a young professional, it's only going to help you moving forward. And then finally, one of the things that I appreciate about him is that like some people may be like, oh, well, you have an easy life. You're a fitness influencer. You just post videos of yourself on TikTok. And the thing about Michael is that he's been doing this for 8 years. Like, this has been his passion for 8 years. And so I think what we can learn from him is maybe there's something in your life right now that you love, that you have a little bit of an itch to like share with other people. Maybe you need to stay in your job because you can't turn it into like a full-time thing right now. But Michael, for 8 years, he was like helping some of his buddies for free from a fitness standpoint. He was sharing some of his advice because it was something that he loved. And then he saw an opportunity and he jumped on it. And so for you, the question is maybe like, you can't start your own thing right now. But what does it look like to maybe find something that you really love and that you're really passionate about, and doing it a little bit here and there on the side and getting better and learning. And then one day maybe you will actually have an opportunity to like make that jump. I just don't want anyone to think that Michael got into fitness a year ago. Like this did take quite a long time. And so I don't want to say that to be discouraging, but I also don't want you to have this illusion that like anyone can just like show up and start posting stuff online without any sort of like knowledge or passion on the subject. And so really love Michael's story so much that we can learn from him from like a fitness standpoint. And one other thing I'll share is like, guys, Michael is so solid. Like, he gives great business advice, great life advice. And I think that a lot of times in the fitness space, it's like people's entire identity is like a fitness person. And while Michael is like, one of the best when it comes to fitness advice and the way he lives his life in that standpoint, he has so much more to offer. And that's why I enjoy following him. So he's just getting started. He's got a lot of momentum. I would encourage you to follow him on his page. There will be plenty that you will learn from him. That's all I've got for you all. Hope the first findings session was good. If you have any other findings, would love to hear about them from you. But all that said, we're done today. So it's time for you and me to wake up and lead.